Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Today, my friends, I'm really excited to have this individual on. The reason I'm having her on is not because she has completely replaced her income with passive income, although that's exciting. That's not the main reason I'm having her on. The main reason I'm having her on is because she takes me back 35 years into my past, into the painful history of how the company I worked for had no empathy, no value for the human life of the people that work for them. They'd hire, fire, they'd do whatever they need to do. But worst of all, they'd create work environments that were just unrealistic, unsustainable. And yet, we sustained them. Don't know why, don't know how, but they made us do it out of fear or out of lack of knowing there was another way. I stuck to it for 12 years, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, if you can imagine that. And no vacations. One vacation a year. Got 1 week, you had to take on a specific week that they told you had to take it, and it was just miserable. And because you had to do it right when they wanted to do it, which was never any time you really could plan anything. So having said that, bring with you here today someone who owns 20 multifamily properties and has retired herself, Miss Robin Matthias. Robin, great story, great result. Wonderful ending, but please take us back. I mean, you were successful. You had a great job, high-paying, successful job. Take us to that and what it was like to be in that position, to have worked so long and so hard for the company. Don't leave out any of the details. And then what happened?
Okay, sure. But first of all, Del, I have to tell you thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for you. Thank you for Lifestyles, because I wouldn't be here without you, and I will forever be in your debt. Just want to tell you how much we appreciate you. So, like you said, 22 years, same employer. I was top talent, MVP, went to, Stanford training program, all company provided, lots of opportunities for advancement. I became a director, working my 10, 12-hour days, like you mentioned. Holidays, weekends, you said one vacation a year. I took vacations, but they were working vacations, always logged in for meetings, dark early from, 3:30, 4:30 Hawaii Standard Time to 11 p.m. at night. Had, teams all around the world. So always stressed, working, reports, meetings, deadlines, briefings. And I did that willingly. Passionate about what I did, very good at what I did. My customers loved me. My company loved me. My teams loved me. Best boss ever kind of thing. And so then in December, I had a vacation planned for more than 3 years. COVID happened and that got delayed, and, go through the normal routine, put it on a spreadsheet. About a month prior to that, everybody knew I was going to be out. And I was told I could go, but I couldn't work out of the country on this particular account I was on. So I'm like, oh, that's okay. All right. And then the day before I was going to be flying to Germany, my manager called and said, I can't approve your vacation. And I'm like, what? Like, what's going to happen to me? What's my recourse? Well, fast forward the next week, I got an email saying my employment was terminated. My access was terminated. And I was in a little bit of shock.
So you were going to go on vacation, and they terminated you right before you went on vacation? Is that what they did? They
terminated my vacation when I was out of the country. I was actually on vacation.
Wow.
So I have, as a director, unlimited vacation. Even if I was over 20 years, I get 5 weeks of vacation. My couple of weeks there was not over that threshold. I was far below that threshold of, hours off. And, I planned to come back. I would have worked Christmas weekend, the holidays, after Christmas and New Year's. I was planning to be working and, back to the grind. And no.
Did they ever say why they let you go?
Dale, that's really interesting. No, I never got a reason. It was just my access was removed. I got a letter saying I had a week to turn in my laptop and my badge. Well, I was out of the country, so when I got back, I'm like, oh, okay. It was already in my personal email. And I was kind of floored by it. But Dale, like I told you in my letter, giddy. It was like when I was like, I looked at my husband and said, well, Eric, it looks like I've been terminated. And we raised our glasses and we were giddy. And I said, I just hit the lottery for time. I just, 200, 250 hours a month of my life back. I just hit the lottery. And it will pay me those hours every month for life.
So I assume that this was a pretty good paying job, though, huh?
It really was, yeah. If I didn't have Lifestyles Unlimited as that fallback plan, as that investment plan, get on that plan to retire yourself in 3 to 5 years, that could have been a very different situation. I mean, anybody listening would know. I mean, that could have been like, holy cow, it's the middle of December, 22nd of December. How can you pay your mortgage at the end of the month? How can you, if you had kids in college, how could you pay those debts? How could you pay for your car? You know what I mean? Like the basic needs. A lot of people, even high earners, could say, whoa, could I even go a month or 2 or 3 without that W-2 income?
Robin, do you think there's any possibility your boss found out that you were doing this or thinking about this? Did you tell any other people? I mean, that maybe they just thought better get rid of her now because she's working on being financially free?
Yeah, the manager had no knowledge. No knowledge of what I did outside. I mean, didn't even know anything about my family or me, really. Just come to work, do your job, do this, do that. And like I said, I never complain. I'm passionate about what I did and gladly produce reports at midnight and, do whatever the job required. But I don't think that had any variance, state of affairs with the business, about the bottom line. I was probably an easy target. It's an account that was always suffering financially when I got there to go save the day. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So if that's not the case, then let's take a look at this. Thinking back, you were working, you had a job, you didn't have any preemptive idea that they were going to drop you. What made you decide to look into Lifestyles Unlimited then?
So I've been listening to you on the radio, and Dale, I have to always thank you. But it seems like you were talking directly to me and no one else. I would replay over and over in my mind when I would leave after listening to a show. And a lot of times with my travel, I would spend my Saturday mornings doing catch up, and I would just play all the radio shows for the week that I missed and just play them back to back. And it felt like you were talking directly to me, only me. And those words would replay in my mind. And I would tell my husband, I said, Dale's right here on my shoulder saying, stop leading that life of quiet desperation. And, all the little cliches. I'm like, David Fisher, get control and retire yourself in 3 to 5 years. I'm like, and it just always just replayed over and over. It just gnawed at me. And so we knew we needed to do something. You can't just have a big pile of money and then hope you die before it's gone. You say that too. It's not about that. It's about how do you spend your time and money and get your time back.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that I was speaking just to you because I was. That's what's important for everybody to understand.
And you still do.
It is just to the person ready. Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, type of deal.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question, just really irrelevant, but I kind of interested. Did you consider yourself someone in the prison cubicle, or did you consider yourself somebody on the little rat gerbil wheel?
Definitely the rat on the wheel. In fact, I like that cliche, rat race. because I had a friend saying, "Hey, Rob, I heard you're out of the rat race now. Congratulations." And he had always said that term, and I thought, what does rat race really mean? I went and looked it up, and my favorite definition, which resonates for me, is the unpleasant life of people who have jobs that require them to work very hard in order to compete with others for money, power, status, etc.
Oh,
So
that's good. that one is good.
Yeah, and like I told you in my email to you, I mean, New Year's was coming up, and you reflect back on the year and you look forward. And I was like, I am going to thank Dell right now today. I'm going to do it. I'm just, I had some other stuff to do work-wise to just wrap up the loose ends, but that was paramount on top of my mind to just give thanks and thank you.
When you came in, what was it that resonated with you? What, like I call it aha moments, where the light bulb goes off in your head and you go, boy, that's it. That's what I've been missing. That is the piece to the puzzle I didn't have. What resonated with you?
It was the entire culture of lifestyles, all like-minded, individual, hardworking, honest, ethical. Everybody striving for the same things. Everybody who has questions, here's a course now that gives you the answers, and you have questions, and you can ask all these people, and everyone's going to be totally transparent, totally honest, and that's what I love. There was no competition. Like you always say, there's deals for everybody, and there are. You run out of capital before you run out of deals. That's everybody runs into that who invests in multifamilies here in lifestyle. So there's always deals. There's always something there, and it's just a family. Like I told you, acquaintances became friends, became like our extended family, and that's the difference with lifestyles. Everybody truly cares about everybody else. Everybody is successful, and that's just great. Sure.
That's powerful, man. I actually I understand what you're saying. That it is but I've absorbed it because I've created it for 35 years now. I've had nothing but those kinds of people around me because other kind of people kind of fall off here. They don't fit in very well if they're, me, and I. We see those guys come up through the program. They get what they want out of it. They become successful, and then they leave because the program's not designed to let somebody, be a me, and I dominant person and take and never give back. So it is a culture. Let's talk about your investing. What did you think when you came out of the blocks that you were going to do? Because you'd done some single families and you weren't real happy with those. I guess that was before Lifestyles, maybe?
It was, sir. Yes, sir. And, when we went to the 2-day, we were just dumbfounded. Like, we thought we were really smart people, and we were clearly given the path to where everything we did was wrong. Like, you did this wrong. We owned our houses straight up, outright, no leverage, paid all cash. That was dumb. That was number one. Like, we looked at each other like, wow, instead of buying, 3 houses, we could have bought, 8 houses or maybe more back then. So that was the first epiphany, how to use leverage and how to do it smartly. And that was a big epiphany. Is here's the roadmap. It's been perfected. It's constantly evolving to perfection, a little bit better. And I just love that. But it did resonate with us how we had made so many mistakes, and we totally drank the Kool-Aid. We totally trusted the process. We educated ourselves, armed ourselves with the knowledge to be comfortable in it, and that made all the difference.
All right. Well, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about how you decided to go into multifamily, what your important points were in your plan as you planned for your future, because you got in here in 2017, quickly loaded up with properties, and by whatever it was, 2021, you had replaced your income. So we'll talk about that story when we get back with Robin Matthias and the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Teaching you with with a roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
Lifestyles Unlimited members share their stories and strategies for success at case study events.
If you got laid off tomorrow, what would you do? Would you have to be working at McDonald's or wait to try and find another job with the downsizing the economy? Kept on coming to meetings, even with David Fisher online and stuff like that, but still we just we need to make the jump.
So we kept praying for time to get this job done, to be able to find the properties. How do we find the properties? How do you find the time? And God answered our prayers, and he got downsized from his corporate job.
But they didn't buy just one house, right?
No, they did not. You're rehabbing house number
9 right now.
9.
Wow.
So every month, the cash flow is $3,200. Okay, the equity of all the houses is up to $280,000.
Join us this month and learn from people just like you. Check in-person and online dates at lucasestudy.com. That's lucasestudy.com.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. With me here today on Tell Del Tuesday is Robin Matthias. And when we went to break, Robin, I said, let's come back and talk about what your thoughts were when you came out of the 2-day on multifamily. What aha moments did you have about the multifamily that made you go that direction when you came out instead of the single family that you had tried before?
Yeah, sure, Del. So that first day, the single family, and we were really excited. Plus, like I mentioned, it was highlighted us all the things we had been doing wrong. But day 2, we got into multifamily. We were like, oh, this is absolutely where we need to be. This is where we will accelerate our wealth, our income, passive income. This is exactly where we need to go. And we signed up with the preferred investor group members that day.
Okay. So when you decided to start investing, what was your plan? What type of deals were you looking for? And were you putting more value on the deal or on the lead investor? I call it the horse or the jockey. Which one meant more to you?
Yeah. Well, I think the priorities changed a little bit, Del. So first of all, we placed more value on who is the lead. We needed to feel comfortable because we were going to be handing over large sums of cash to people that we really knew for a relatively short period of time. We wanted to know that we could trust them and get to know them and have them get to know us. And, Lifestyles events made it so easy to do. And so we felt like we needed to be comfortable with that lead, knowing who it is. But as time goes on, I feel comfortable with far more leads, even new leads, first-time leads. So now it's becoming more about the deal, and we never worried about cash flow. And even now, we're not really concerned about cash flow now that I'm retired. So it's all about the deal now, and maybe in our next phase it'll be the deal and the lead, maybe a combo. Maybe continue to go with long-term leads that we're familiar with to, let's invest a little more with first-time leads.
Okay, that all sounds good. How about spreading the money around into different locations? Have you thought about that at all?
Well, yes, absolutely. And so our first deal was in Texas, and in our portfolio of the 18 properties that we currently are invested in, 7 are in Texas, 5 are in Kentucky, 5 are in Mississippi, and 1 is in Kansas. And we're strongly looking at potential opportunity in Oklahoma. So that would be the 5th state in our portfolio.
So you've got some location diversification. You got some lead investor diversification. That's good. Now, percentages of money invested in each one. How did you decide how much you were willing to put in each one, and was it a wise choice that what you did?
Yeah. So our only downside is the good deals, right? Well, what do you consider a good deal? Because I think they're all good deals. But, that first deal that we got into, we put in $25K. And it was painful. It was scary, giving someone, that we only had known for, 6-7 months. It was hard. But, fast forward think it was 20 months later when we got all of our capital back, and to this day we still own that property. We look at each other going, that was dumb. We should have put far more money in. But every year then, and I know you hear that all the time. And so, every year after that, we just kept ratcheting up, putting, one deal became 2, became 4. And I think in the year, 2021, we actually got into 9 deals. So that by far is the year that we put the most in. We had a couple of deals that sold that year. And that was the year 2021. So, 2020, my W-2 wages were replaced with the passive income.
Now you've been off for a year now? Is that how long it's been? Or 2 years?
No. Gal, it's only been 6 weeks.
It's only been 6 weeks?
Yeah. It happened.
I thought you retired in 21.
September.
I thought you retired in 20.
That's when real estate retired. Like that's when my W-2 income had been surpassed by the passive income.
Oh, okay. So you didn't quit.
I could have, and I think I told you in my email to you that I should have just retired sooner. That's when I should have retired. I should have just said, I'm done, because I could have. You can't get time back, right? So if I could go back in time, I would have just quit that corporate job and give up the good life for a great life. And in that, again, talking directly to me.
When they let you go, did you get any pension or anything, or any just cut off pay or?
Nope.
Severance?
I was terminated, so no severance. Although I should have gotten severance. No, nothing.
Wow.
See you later. Bye. Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. Let me see what time it is here. See if we're at the end of this segment or not. We've got to look over here at the clock and see. We still got a few minutes to play around here. So let's talk about. So I was going to ask you about the bug. I thought you'd been out a year or two of wanting to go back and do something. Do you ever get the urge? Maybe I should go out there and play with this stuff. Do a couple houses, maybe do a small apartment.
Yeah, for sure. All the time. And like I said, on your shows, I feel like you're talking directly to me. And, my husband will tell you, and Eric and I talk about it. I said, I should just quit this corporate job and go syndicate a deal. And, we kicked the idea around forever. But I was just so driven to continue working for corporate America. I loved my job, work, dedication. But now that I don't have that, absolutely. We're looking at IRO deals, exploring those opportunities, maybe syndicate our first deal. Absolutely. That is not out of the realm of the possible here in 2023.
Yeah, I did a radio show yesterday about it, that what they found that many, many people that work hard, long hours like you did, like I did, they find it very difficult just to quit, just to shut it down. They need.
They want to be a quitter.
Yeah, their whole demeanor is to do something every day. You get up, like my wife will sleep until 11 every day and stay up till 2, and she's a night bird. But I stay up till 2 with her and get up at 6. I mean, you're on fire. You got to get up and do something, right? So sometimes people like yourself who worked hard for a long time got to get back in there and do something just to keep them from going insane.
Well, I just, it's so new to me that it's like you don't have to get up to an alarm clock. You don't have to be on a meeting. You don't have to stay up late a bit. But we do, instead of saying, what do we have to do? It's what do we want to do? That's the dialogue now. Hey, what do we want to do?
What are you thinking about the future? What do your plans look like now that this time is up?
So we always had great vacations, but they were always working vacations. And so because of the passive streams of income we've received and are receiving from our multifamily investments through Lifestyles, we now look at our future and go, we don't have to worry about, can I get on a meeting? How do I do excursions, or how do we go to certain cities and go to certain places while we're on those vacations? Because they always had to revolve around my work calendar. Those days are gone. Also, now that I have this newfound freedom, right, my lottery of time, a couple $100 a month, we really are looking seriously at maybe the IRO is what we want to do. Feel confident managing a apartment community that we own solely, like you were saying earlier, having control because it's your money, and then we would gain that experience and knowledge to then potentially syndicate a deal, when we're comfortable and able to do that. So those are the things we're looking at now in 2023.
Let's go on the other side of this. Let's talk about what people have thought about your decision to do this. Did you get any pushback from any family members or other people going, "Oh my God, Robin, sorry to hear you lost your job. What are you going to do now? Are you going to get another job? Are you going to go back to work? And oh my God, you're not going back to work. Oh my God, how are you going to do that?" Did you get any of that kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Probably, you get it closest with your family and friends, right? So even my dad, like in northern Pennsylvania right now, celebrating his 81st birthday. And when I mentioned to him about making multifamily investments, he would say, "Rob, you need to be careful. Rob, I'm just saying, you need to be careful." And then when I told him, Dad, I could retire today and I'd be fine. My investments now pay me what I make. And he's like, "Oh, come on, that can't be true." And it's like, yeah, it is. But my like our kids, we have 4 kids. Our children know. They're our cheerleaders, right? Saying, "Great job, Mom and Dad." And our one daughter, paying it forward. Our one daughter is a preferred investor group member. So we're trying to get our adult children more involved in the same thing, passive investing, seeing what we're doing, and trying to educate them, inspire them.
Social angle of this, what do you see as valuable there? I know you spoke about it a little bit in the beginning, but...
When you say social value, you're talking about like what Eric and I are planning, or
what is it?
Sorry.
What does it do to have around you? Like you said, I'm taking words. I'm not putting words in your mouth. That's unsanitary. But you said that it's nice to have positive people around you. I've always thought that it was a kind of conversation you couldn't have with anybody. Nobody talks about their money. It's like an insult to talk about. Well, hey, what do you make for a living? Or what do you have in savings? How much you have saved? It drives people batty when I talk to them, right?
Oh, yeah. And it is a changing culture. We can talk about money with our kids, and we're very open about it. And, yeah, it's the culture of lifestyles. Everybody is striving for the same thing. When one succeeds, we all succeed. One, you call it, map. Someone goes ahead and finds the map and brings it back for others. That's the culture of lifestyles. That's what we love, and that's that whole social aspect. Acquaintances become friends, become family, and irreplaceable. They're all in my cell phone. I can call them at any time. They'll always talk, answer emails, questions. When you want to know about a certain lead or a certain market, you're going to get the straight answer.
We've got the Expo coming up, as I know you know, and in Dallas, up there by you. And there's be between 4,000 and 5,000 people there every year. Do you look forward to meeting all these people across the country that you know through these deals and through all this conversation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're always at the Expo. We love it. We love Expo. It is a great forum, getting everyone together, people from out of state. Probably the largest membership's probably in Texas, I'm guessing. But yeah, they're from everywhere. And, and I think what you mentioned earlier, like the remote, when everything went remote, we can now connect with people that are anywhere in the world, right? Because you don't have to be in the same place physically. But Expo certainly is the place where everybody is there face to face. Can't wait. We'll be there.
Excellent. Anything you'd like to tell people who are sitting on the sidelines? I mean, you've done it. You got all the way through the other side of the tunnel. Looking back, what would you tell somebody who's looking at this for the first time, like you were, and you were thinking,
I say don't wait. If you're living that quiet life of desperation, if you're in the rat race and you have a good life, which we had a good life, we now have a great life. All of our time back, and don't think for a minute you can be the best of the best of the best of the best. You can be, that model employee, which I think I was, and in an instant, click your fingers, it's ripped out from under you. And I think you have to think about, holy cow, a week before Christmas, how do you go through Christmas? How do you pay your mortgage? If you had, loans like car payments or student loans or have kids in college. So thankful for you, Dal and myself, that wasn't even a thought, a blimp on our thought. We were just like, wow, we have all this time back. Wow, I should have done it sooner. Should have left corporate America sooner.
That's great. Thanks for coming on today, Robin. I look forward to seeing you again up at the Expo. For the rest of you out there, remember this, whether it's for Robin, myself, or any of you, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle. Have a wonderful day.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley radio show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.